The long gray days of winter are coming to a close. Finally, we are seeing regular temps in the 50s and even occasionally straying into the 60s. This day is one of those days. Even though it is only March 11th, I had to fire up the new motorcycle and go for one of my favorite local rides. However, it is not as easy as just jumping on the bike. So let's roll back about 24 hours. It is, it's actually afternoon now, and it is March 10th, Monday, March 10th, and we've got some good weather. All right, today is going to be in the upper 50s, and tomorrow is going to be around 60. So let me show you something. So yep, I'm out here in short sleeves, and you can hear in the background somebody's cutting down a tree, so you know it must be springtime. So my original plan was to go out today on the bike, but I got up in the morning and I started getting ready, and then I started just remembering all of these things that I still had to do on the bike. I haven't put a toolkit together for this little bike. I didn't have my registration. I had to find where I put that. It's upstairs somewhere, and just all these other little things that I needed to do still. So after almost driving myself crazy and getting my wife mad at me, I decided, you know what, Craig, just go to the gym today and then come home and get this little thing ready. And then tomorrow you can head out on a nice ride and everything will be nice and relaxed. All right, we're all geared up. Gonna shut the garage and get on the road, test out this little bike. Sure, it took some slowing down and working my way through the small things I still needed to do before I could set out on my first ride of 2025. But that's okay. It happens every year, and I am sure when I decide to take the big Tiger 1200 out, I will go through the same last-minute struggles. Today, I decided to start anew by climbing aboard my Triumph Scrambler 400X. Yep, it only has 9 miles on it, and 2 of those were riding it home from the dealer in late January. We'll get to know more about this little scrambler in a few minutes, but first I wanted to talk about a book that was sent to me and written by one of my YouTube subscribers. It is called Faith, Motorcycles, and Marriage: Riding to Epiphanies, written by Mike Michaels. Now, as you can probably imagine, based on the title and some of the topics I discuss on this channel, this book was right up my alley. As I read Mike's story, I found myself identifying with many of his struggles, along with smiling and thinking about all the places we have both ridden through on our motorcycles. I don't want to give away too much, but Mike and I both share a history with organized religions that left us questioning the true nature of God and what it means to have faith. My struggles were as a teenager growing up in Florida while attending a private Southern Baptist school in the mid-70s, and Mike's were with his more than 20-year affiliation with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons. However, as the title says, that is not all this book is about. It's about finding the person you will spend your life with, learning lessons, and of course, riding motorcycles through some of the most beautiful places on earth. I enjoyed the book very much, and it is an easy read, which I think is a good thing. I got through the 246 pages in just 2 sittings. Faith, Motorcycles, and Marriage is available on Amazon, and I will include a link in the description of this video. For me, it was a great read for the start of this new riding season. After heading into Rhode Island, I made my way along some of the best motorcycle roads in the area, past small farms and rock walls on Connecticut's routes 49 and 169. If you have been watching for any length of time, you know this is a ride I do several times a year, whenever I just need to get out and clear my head. As always, I found myself having lunch at the Vanilla Bean Cafe, a local motorcycle hangout during the spring and summer riding weather. There were a few other bikes on the road, and I even got to chat with a viewer. It was not a bad turnout for a Tuesday in March.
Had some lunch, now it's time to head home. Got a little over 100 miles into the day, so probably about 170 or so by the time I get home. It's been a great day. It is beautiful out. Few other riders out today, but not a lot yet. It is still March.
As I'm heading for home, let's get into my first impressions of this Triumph Scrambler 400X. At the end of the day, I put my first 150 miles on the little bike, and it did very well overall. I was comfortable, although at the end of my ride, my butt was getting a little sore. That is a combination of the hard new saddle and my butt having to reacclimate after 4 months of sitting on the couch. I did have one strange occurrence. When I started the bike, a bell icon remained lit. I was not sure what the icon was for, but the bike was running well, so I ventured on. After about 30 or 40 minutes of riding, I turned a corner and the bike just died on me. I got to the side of the road and recycled the power and restarted the bike. The bell icon went away. I never saw it again for the remainder of the day, and the bike ran great from that point on. When I got home, I took out my manual and looked up that bell. Turns out it was for the engine immobilizer. Now it makes more sense why the bike died on me. Hopefully this is just a fluke, but from now on I will make sure this light goes out when cold starting the little Triumph. And of course I will bring this up when I take the bike in for its first service at 600 miles. Other than that, the bike was fun to ride and easy to toss around at 395 pounds. A couple of things I see many Scrambler 400X owners doing after getting the bike is to change out the 14-tooth front sprocket with a 15-tooth. This gives a little more top end and eliminates some buzz at higher RPMs. I have also seen some riders complaining about the front brakes not stopping well, not being easily modulated, and wearing out too quickly. Now, I'm not sure how these guys ride, but I had no issues with the front brake. But we'll see how long they last. I guess they are organic pads and wear out pretty quickly, but we shall see. As far as first and second gear being too low, I can see that depending upon how you ride. Now, after just one ride, I didn't really have a problem, but again, we shall see if changing to that 15-tooth sprocket is something I want to do in the future. The suspension was also pretty good. Not as good as the top-of-the-line stuff on my Tiger 1200, but for the price point of less than $6,000, I have to say it did very well, and it is extremely easy to stand on the bike when the potholes and frost heaves get to be too much. After traveling 161.2 miles, I needed fuel in the 3.5-gallon tank. I ended up adding 2.71 gallons and traveling a total of 161.2 miles. Doing that math, that works out to 59.5 miles per gallon. Now, I was a little surprised at this because I have been reading about 70 to 80 miles per gallon claims. I was not riding that fast, so I can only imagine that those claims are based on the bike's calculations, not actual numbers. I will of course keep an eye on that as the bike gets broken in. Overall, I am pleased with the little Scrambler so far. It is exactly what I was looking for to travel the 2-lane back roads of New England. I am going to have to figure out something for storage though. Maybe I will end up buying that tail rack after all. This was a great first ride of 2025. The roads were mostly clear of sand and the skies were blue. Another month and the new buds of flowers and leaves will start to bloom. It is nice to get out in March, but things still look pretty stark. But that is just how nature works. Each winter, the vegetation along with our motorcycles take a 3 or 4 month break to grow stronger when the spring sun shines down, warming the land and our spirits. Over the years, I have learned to appreciate our forced winter breaks. It is time to plan new adventures, read a few good books, think about our place in the world, and maybe renew our faith. Here is to a great 2025. No matter what the powers that be have in store for us, I am going to continue finding the beauty and adventure in life. How about you? Ride safe as always, and of course, keep squeezing your lemon.